what's up everybody? It's George here and we're back with another unboxing. Well, it's February here in Northeast Ohio and it's been a pretty mild winter. There's been some opportunities for the adventurous to get out there and fly. Us fair weather flyers, still a little bit too cold out there, but we can fly indoors. And speaking of flying indoors, we're going to be taking a look at an indoor heli today. This is the Blade MSRx. The MSRx is the next migration from the Blade SR, which if you remember from some of my previous videos that I have of the MSR, it's one of my favorite little helis. We fly it at work around the conference room, zero wind conditions, and it's just a blast to fly. The MSRx is the flybarless version with the AS3X technology. AS3X technology is automatic stabilization on 3 axes. That's going to be elevator, aileron, and of course rudder. Normally we just have rudder control, but now they're including the cyclic control, which is supposed to promise a better flight. So let's go ahead and get on with the unboxing. I'll take everything out. We'll take a quick look. But before we go any further, one thing to notice is that their bind and fly version is now in a much smaller box. This is ecologically friendly, and I do applaud this. Plus it does take up a little bit less room on your shelf when you're storing it. So that being said, let me go ahead and get it out of the box and we'll go on with the unboxing. Okay, once again, this is the bind and fly version, and the packaging is going to be a little bit different. This is the newer style packaging. The old style packaging would have the styrofoam and the radio inside, but the bind and fly is much more efficient. We notice there is no more styrofoam. They have formed packaging now. It holds it very well, and looks like it's kept it in very good condition. The helicopter is in here. It looks pretty much similar to the MSR. I really can't tell any differences at first glance, but we're going to go downstairs and take a closer look at this on the bench anyways. Also in the box, there's additional information about smart binding. You should read it. It's just a little card, but it's definitely worth taking the time to look at. Another inclusion, something that I really like, is repair videos. There's videos on here that tell you how to repair almost anything on this helicopter. You're going to crash, it's a small helicopter, and repairs are very easy, but this takes you through step by step on how to do almost every repair on this helicopter. Excellent addition to their line of products. We have the normal binding plug, little screwdriver, grommet kit, a couple spare links in here. Always good to have. I'm glad that they've included this again. And finally, the manual. I would suggest that you read through the manual. There is some good information about binding and setting your radio up. So definitely take a look through this. And that's pretty much it in the box. And we kind of like that. We don't want extra fluff in there. Really what we want to do is take the helicopter out, bind it, and fly it. So let's go ahead and take it downstairs, put it on a bench, and take a look at some of the features. Okay, we have the MSRx on the bench and going to take a closer look, and the first thing that we see is it does look very, very similar to the Blade MSR. The canopies are very similar, however, the grommet location is in a different spot. So if you do have an MSR canopy and you want to use it on the MSRx, you're going to have to drill another hole. The head is a much simpler design. There's no flybar linkage. It's much more straightforward, and that's all thanks to the ASX3 technology. Tail boom assembly looks the same. I do notice that they've put a cage around the motor. Wonderful idea. Back in the old days, we used to actually put rubber around the edge of the motor to keep it from blowing out. The skids at first glance do look similar, however the battery holder is different, so you won't be able to interchange the skids between your MSR and your MSRx, but there are several components that are interchangeable. Let's go ahead and pop the canopy off and take a closer look. Okay, one of the first things that we notice right off the bat is the mounting and placement of the electronics as opposed to the MSR. The MSR, the electronics were mounted in the back straight up and down. This is a larger board, so they've mounted it a little differently. You can see that the servos are mounted. It does look like a very nice job. Spinning it around, we can see that the the motor is definitely a little bit beefier than the MSR's motor. So other than that, it looks very, very straightforward. So let's not waste any time. Let's see if we can get this thing in the air. Okay, here we have the MSRx, Blade's new model. This is a flybarless model of the MSR, and we're going to be doing some test hovering with it, maybe do a couple circuits. So let's go ahead and get this baby off the ground and see how she does. Well, the very first thing to notice is that when you take off, you don't want to give it that right cyclic. The MSRx technology is making those adjustments for you. Once it gets in the air, it seems to be pretty stable. It seems to be hovering nice. Let me try a little bit of nose-in hover here. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's handling real nice. I guess the next thing is let's see if we can do some circuits around the room. I know this thing is going to be a little quick, but let's see how it does. It's definitely more touchy than the MSR. It seems to be a little bit quicker and a lot faster response on the cyclic, but it's flying great. Buzz it around the room a little bit and see how she does. This has a 150 milliamp battery in it. I'm sure we'll get at least 4 minutes out of it. I don't know if we'll push 4 minutes on this video, but we just wanted to give you a little view of it handling itself in the air, and it seems to be doing awesome. It's definitely squirrely. And my goodness, it's fast. But it seems to be very responsive to cyclic. Of course, this is a fixed pitch, so there'll be no collective to worry about, just throttle control. Bring it back in for a little close-up hover here. Oh yeah, looking good, looking good. Sharp looking heli. And a lot of fun. This is a great indoor conference room helicopter to fly. You can buzz it around, as you can see. You can get a pretty good amount of speed going while you're flying, and yet it seems very stable in the hover. Very, very nice. You got a little bit of nose in there for you there. Flying great. Okay, let's go ahead and land it, and we'll talk a little bit more about it before we wind up this video. Very good. That's the Blade MSRx. Okay, we've unboxed it, we've taken it downstairs, put it on a bench and got a close look at it, taken it into work and flown it around to see how it performs. So overall, I hope you got a good picture of this helicopter and what it's about. I would have to rate this a wonderful helicopter, a great addition to the fleet, and much more agile than the MSR, but still a lot of fun and a new challenge to fly around at work. So thanks for watching, everybody, and as always, happy flying, friends.